This is Never Down, Never Out with T.R. Matson. This podcast is about discipline when motivation fades, resilience when things get hard, and showing up when quitting would be easier. No hype, no shortcuts, just the mindset required to build something real. One day at a time. Let's get into it. Welcome back. Episode 36. Going to try this a little differently. Hopefully not too many distractions in the background, but trying to manage my daily recording with a new puppy. So you met her a few episodes ago. She is laying on the floor right now. I'm hoping she stays asleep. My message will likely put her to sleep very quickly, but if you hear any whining in the background, I'll adjust it on the next one. But I'm just trying to get recordings done when most of the kiddos and wife are out of the house. So mitigating the noise in the background. One day, when this podcast goes, to terminal velocity, maybe I'll have a soundproof booth to talk in or something. But for now, this is what we got. So today's episode, why you must do the work anyway. So we're in it, right? We're almost a week into the discipline, habits, and daily execution phase, which will be episodes 31 through 90. Why you must do the work anyway. This is a tough one. This one, I think affects every one of us because we get in a situation where we have these dreams and goals and we're excited, right? We're motivated. We have our setup. We want to see things start materializing. And then, we get a little traction, we get a little movement on it, and then it kind of stagnates. And I'll use this podcast as an example, right? Thanks to Mover and Gonky Show, I had a ton of subscribers right off the bat, so that helped. There's definitely the regulars that watch every day, which I appreciate. So when you look at the analytics, it's very easy to stay motivated right off the bat because things took off. I mean, they really did, and for the people that don't understand YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours to get any money from YouTube, which again, not the reason I'm doing this. If you haven't been here since the beginning, the main reason for doing this was something that my kids could go back and listen to and their kids can listen to. And then it kind of morphed into other people's kids and then other people. And it was, very quick traction, very, very motivating right off the bat. And then here we are on episode 36 and the subscribers have kind of stagnated. The watch hours have steadied out, which is good. I'm not complaining, but it's you don't get that quick go viral. Oh my goodness, everybody wants to be a part of it, and I call it the Oprah Winfrey example, and what I mean by that is in today's day and age, you could run, let's just say, a bakery your whole life. And, you have steady customers and you do your thing. And then one day Oprah walks in and she tweets that it's the best cupcake she's ever eaten in her life. And all of a sudden, boom, everything blows up, line out the door. That's just the way the world that we live in now with social media. But that's not reality, right? I mean, that's the winning the lottery equivalent of any type of business, whether it's a podcast, whether it's books, whether it's a bakery, it doesn't matter. So, how do we get ourselves through the reality, right? Well, it's the same way if we use the lottery analogy as we get ourselves through finances, right? I mean, sure, would it be great if you bought one ticket and won $1 billion and you're set for life? Yeah, I mean, yeah. But you could wait your whole life for that and not get anywhere, or you could just go about learning finances and getting yourself set up and saving money and setting up your financial freedom on your own, knowing that the likelihood of that lottery winning is pretty slim. So that's how this is. Whatever your goal is, we have to do the work regardless. And some days that means working on a little bit of sleep. Some days that means working when you're not feeling well, if you're sick, or there's distractions in life. But that is the reality of going above your status quo, right? If you want to be one of those people that you just get up and go to work and do your job and come home and watch TV and eat cookies and go to bed and repeat that for every day of the week, for every week of the year, every year of your life, and then die, likely you're probably not listening to episode 36 with me, because you are not the type of person that inside of you seeks something greater. So for the people that are still here, that something greater is why you have to do the work, right? We could use the story of me writing Trees in Flight. There was a lot of ups and downs, and it was all internalized, right? Because the only other person that really knew I was doing it was my wife. And it was very frustrating at times, but it's like you have to put in the work. And then when you get the edits back, oh, Lord. I mean, you want to talk about a gut check. That book almost never became a book because of the first email of edits. So very, very frustrating. But again, you put in the work and you do the work. And, now I have that accomplishment under my belt. And what has that done? It's caused me to want to do more accomplishments. Hence Vengeance Flight. Hence the next book. It caused me to want to do this. The ripple effect of any one accomplishment is massive in life. But in order to get to that first one, you got to do the work. Nobody's going to hand it to you. And I think we live in a world nowadays where we've talked about this before. And on a side note, I want to address this because this is a problem I have. And then we'll get back to doing the work. Sorry. It's maybe too much caffeine this morning. It's a beautiful day. I want to get the recording done and get some other work done and then hang out with the family. But one of the issues I have with the podcast is I feel like I'm repeating myself. And for the people that watch every day, maybe that's annoying. But for the people that may not know my backstory or may pop in at episode 36, I think it's important that some of these things need to be re-emphasized. So I just want to put that out there, that when it comes to recording these, I sometimes feel like I'm a broken record of sorts. Probably an old saying there, but I think it's important in other respects that if I talk about things over and over again, it's catching a different audience that may just pop in, but also it reinforces what's important. So back to why work has to be done. You're never gonna. We live in this world where we go on this phone, which I love and I also hate at the same time, because it's so attached to us. And I can, my generation is a generation where, we had both. I didn't have phones. I had a pager, believe it or not. That was the first electronic device I had. When I was, a teenager, my parents gave me a pager, and then they would page me and I'd have to go find a phone and call them. It's ridiculous now. So we've gotten into this lifestyle of this phone, and because of it, the world is our oyster, right? I mean, everything. Today, just for fun, I was on my phone researching how people afford vintage warplanes, OV-10 Bronco specifically, which is crazy that I could just look that up, right? But on the other sense, the part that's frustrating about it is attached to this phone is everything in the world, right? So everybody out there in social media I could get to on this phone. And the problem with that is most people don't show the work, right? I mean, even take Mover and Gonky with their podcast, with the Mover and Gonky show. I know, because I know them, that it's not just a 2-hour show on Monday nights and then they're done for the week. Like, first of all, they have to do a lot of research on the topics. They have to come up with topics and content. They have to come up with guests. They're doing all this stuff. Then they record it, right, and make sure all of the settings and everything's good. And then from there, they have to edit things, and they have to make sure that things aren't copyrighted or classified, or, cut things out here. And then they make shorts that go out throughout the week, because let's be honest, we're a society that can't sit for 2 hours and watch something, so 20 minutes is better. And when they do that, that's the work that happens behind the scenes that nobody really sees. But they still do it because their goal is the podcast, and it's very successful. So it's important to realize that the world we live in, you're looking at people's highlight reels and you're not seeing what it took to get there, right? People really want to support you after you've already accomplished something, because now you're in the limelight, right? You're out there like, oh man, look at this. He's done this, or she's done this, or wow, that's amazing. And then the traction comes and the followers come and the clicks come and the likes come and all that. Nobody saw the work that 99% of those people had to put in before they ever got there. And I think that does us a disservice as a society. So whatever you're looking at today, realize, like, yes, the goal is important. Keep the beautiful goal in your mind. Keep the dream alive every day, whatever that is, whether it's fitness, relationships, financial freedom, becoming a pilot, becoming a doctor, doesn't matter. Keep that goal alive every day. That being said, stay realistic to that goal, right? Let's be organized. Let's think about what we have to do today to actually take steps forward. Because sometimes we spend so much time dreaming about the thing and wanting to do the thing and planning to do the thing and talking to people about whatever the thing is that we're trying to accomplish and looking forward to what our life is going to be like when the thing is accomplished, that we don't actually take steps toward whatever it is we're working on. It's funny. Like we spend more time looking at the finish line, but never run the race. So think about that today. As you sit there and you're looking at what you're doing, what your goal is, hopefully in my mind, at least when I speak to you, there's a dream that you're shooting for. And that's why you've stuck with me this long and you're looking for some sort of insight or spark to help you get there. Whatever that dream is, whatever that goal is, I want you to keep it alive. I don't want it to die with you. I want you to keep thinking about it every day, but just enough to motivate you to do the work in between you and the finish line. And that's what most people don't do, in my opinion. They dream big, but then they fail to execute. So you have to do the work day in and day out. And that's where I've spent time talking about routines and consistency and discipline. All of these themes tie together, that every day you are working towards that goal. You don't have to jump there today, right? I mean, we all know I've talked about being a pilot. I didn't go, wow, Dad, look at the Blue Angels. And then the next day I was a Navy pilot. It was quite a while, years, over a decade before I even flew a plane. But there was a lot of things in between there, and there's things I would have done differently. But you're not going to get there unless you do the work, right? You got to take the shots. You got to do the work. My son and I were talking about this. He's finishing up his basketball season, first time ever playing basketball. And he's like, yeah, I'm just not good. And I'm like, okay, well, let's take a look at the perspective of how long you've been playing basketball. 2 months ago, you had no idea anything about the game of basketball. Zero. You didn't know offense, defense, plays, what basket to shoot in, how to rebound, how to dribble, anything. And look at you now. You've done the work. You've put in work. But if you want to continue, you've got to keep doing that work. So that applies to every one of our goals, every one of our dreams. We can't get there unless we do the work every day. I think a lot of people on this note, I might as well bring it up, they talk about work-life balance. And they're like, well, you really have to have that work-life balance or else, you're going to get burnt out. And I agree with a little asterisk. And my asterisk is, if you truly are shooting for something big, if you really want something magnificent in your life, and again, what's magnificent to you might not be to me or other people. It doesn't matter. It is to you, right? Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. If you truly are shooting for that, right, then I don't think you need work-life balance. You need to be a little off. You need to be a little into whatever it is you're shooting for. You need to be a little unbalanced for a short amount of time. And then once you achieve what you're shooting for, then we can go back to that work-life balance. Because it's not healthy to think, on the one hand, that you could just be balanced your whole life and be this magnificent, accomplished person. It's not going to happen. But on the other hand, you don't want to be so unbalanced, and so you will burn out. You will go nuts. So don't be that way either. It's somewhere in the middle. And what I've found is the middle isn't work-life balance. The middle is sometimes you're a little unhinged, and sometimes you go back to the balance, and you have to ebb and flow throughout life that way. So So again, the message today is keep that dream alive. I want that dream alive. But then as soon as you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm still on track. Okay, good. There's the motivation. Tell yourself what you're doing today. And again, sometimes it's not even today. Sometimes it's in the next hour, the next 5 minutes. What are you doing to get yourself closer? Appreciate all the support. You guys are great. The comments are great. Please keep the support up. It helps me. It keeps me motivated. We're feeding off each other. We're going someplace with all this. And again, I appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk soon. If this episode helped you, don't just listen, apply it. Progress is built in what you do after the message ends. Remember, never down, never out. I'll see you tomorrow.